questions?
Well, I'll try not to keep y'all here too late. My name is Gary Brewer. I've been around the Texas falconry community now for about 27 years, and like most of you, I stumbled on falconry as a young person and had all of these fantasies about falconry for many, many years before I was able to actually practice it. And in my fantasies, they were all successful flights, and the weather was always pretty, and I never had to chase my bird around. But then I got into falconry, and the realities of falconry were even greater even than my fantasies. You know, even with all of the ins and outs and the difficulties that one encounters, it still is probably the most, next to having kids, was probably the most influential thing in all of my life. And I think probably was something in my life that probably made me a better falconer, a better dad, and a better husband. So you ladies that are married to falconers, really, I think you ought to count your blessings. I know it could be a...
Thank you, brother.
Amen. Truly. I mean, it took a, you know, my wife and I came to the edge of divorce a couple of times during our 30-year marriage, and falconry was always the root of our disagreements. But she finally came to realize that my hobbies, I could be obsessed with drinking and chasing women. You know, she never necessarily knew, she may not know necessarily where I am at any given time, but she knows what I'm up to. You know, so anyway, that's not really what I came here to talk about. And the speech that I had prepared, I've altered it a little bit because of some of the folks that I've talked to at dinner and whatnot that came here that wanted to hear about squirrel hawking. I'm going to give you a little history. First, before I get started, can I have a show of hands of all the red tailors in here? Okay, that's quite a few. Now, keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Now, all the apprentices, put your hands down. Okay, so it's about half and half. Now, of you red tailors, how many of y'all have been doing flying red tails for more than 4 or 5 years? That's good. All the same hands that were not apprentices remained up. It hasn't always been so. I remember 27 years ago when I got into falconry, you could go to a NYSFA meet and you could get a census of how many apprentices were at the NYSFA meet by going to the weathering yard and counting the red tails. When I got initially interested in falconry, I went to the bookstore one day and stumbled across a book by Jack Sampson called Falconry Today. Snatched that rascal